Hello everyone, this is Bushra welcoming you to another video. So in this video, we will be discussing about the TCS exam pattern, and this is the agenda for the discussion today. So I will be covering the different types of job roles that they offer and the salary package offered for the each job role. We will be covering the exam pattern, what kind of questions are asked, how many questions are asked in each section. Then we will be talking about the cutoff. How many questions should you be solving from each section to be able to clear the test? We will be talking about that. Then we will talk about the role-wise cutoff. So if you want to say there are different types of roles, especially in TCS, we're talking about Ninja, Prime, and all of them. So to be able to qualify for the each of the roles, what is the cutoff? We will discuss a little bit about that as well. Then we will talk about how to prepare, like what are the tips to be followed. So here in this section, we'll talk about tips and tricks. We will talk about the strategy that you should be using to prepare for these texts. Then we will talk about the rules that you have to keep in mind, because this video is going to be so helpful for anyone who's watching this, preferably because, in this video, we are going to be covering about the rules that the test has. A lot of people whose podcast we've taken specifically on TCS have told us that the compiler had a problem, have told us and given us few tips and talked about the mistakes that they have made. So you cannot make those mistakes if you watch this video. This is why this is going to be a really helpful video. And finally, we will talk about the things to avoid. So, and this section is going to have a lot of good tips. So please watch the video until the end. And if you want an article on all of these topics, then I have linked it below in the description box where you can go through the article on our online study for you website and you will be able to see all of them. So let's get started with today's video. First, let's talk about the TCS NQT 2025 job role and salary package. So there are three roles. There's Ninja, there's Digital, there's Prime. So this is the basic role, this is like the medium role, this is the advanced role, that for the UG students. Specifically, we're talking about the UG students first. So the Ninja role gives you about 3.3 LPA. Then there is the Digital role, which will give you 7 LPA, and then there is Prime role, which gives you 9 LPA. So if you go for the first, say, we will talk about this in brief, but if you talk about the different kinds of roles in their cutoffs, you'll be able to figure out how much to score in each section in order to be able to crack these. So here you can expect up 25K plus salary when we talk about the Ninja role, which is 3.3 LPA. You can go for the new tax regime, and you will be able to completely save the tax. Here you can expect some 48K plus salary if you're going for 7 LPA. And if we talk about 9 LPA, then the enhanced salary is going to be, let me quickly calculate, it is going to be 65,000 plus anyway, depending on. So if you come into the Prime, here you will definitely have to pay taxes. If you're going for the new tax regime up to 7 LPA, there is a rebate, so you don't have to pay any taxes here. But for the Prime, you definitely have to pay taxes regardless of your tax regime being old or new. So you definitely will have to pay taxes on this one. But again, this is going to be your cutoff, okay? So then this is for the UG. UG is undergraduations, people with the bachelor's degree, okay? If you have the bachelor's degree, then this is going to be these are the roles that you can crack, and this is going to be their respective package. When we talk about PG now, so if you talk about PG, then for the Ninja role, they pay you 3.5 LPA. 3.5 LPA is going to be, again, 25K plus, right? You can expect anywhere between 25 to 26. Then there's 7.3, the same, almost 50K you can expect here. And finally, we have 11.5 LPA for the Prime role. 11.5 LPA is going to be anywhere between 75 to 80K, okay, depending on your taxes and your savings. So this is the first topic that we had, the job role. So now we know UG or PG. We have different three types of roles. This is Ninja, Digital, and Prime. And this is the payment that you're going to be getting for each of them. Okay, this is the salary package. Let's move to the next slide. TCS NQT exam pattern. Okay, so let's try to understand pattern of the exam. So here, part A. Okay, part A has how many questions in total? 20 plus 20 plus 25, which is 65 questions. Okay, and this is 25 cross 3, which is 75 minutes. All right. Part B is advanced section, which has 17 questions asked, and the duration is going to be 91 hour 25 minutes. Okay, sorry, 1 hour 30 minutes and plus 25 minutes, which is 1 hour and 55 minutes. So overall, this is 190 minutes, which is 3 hours 10 minutes. Okay, this is going to be your exam pattern. So part A, the foundation section, it is going to ask you for numerical ability, it will ask you for logical reasoning, and it will ask you for verbal ability. So there are 20 questions being asked from numerical ability, 20 questions being asked from logical reasoning, and 25 questions from verbal ability. And each section is going to be having for 25 minutes. So on an average, you will only have about 1 minute plus for each question from each of these sections. Okay. Now, if you look at part B, the advanced section, it has quantitative and reasoning ability, where the ability questions are asked. You have 15 questions that have to be answered in 25 minutes. Then there is advanced coding, where they specifically ask for coding. They ask for pseudo codes. They will ask you to actually run and write the code. Right? This is all going to be asked. Only 2 questions are going to be asked, and this is for 90 minutes, which means you will have about 45 minutes for each coding question. And the coding question, this is going to be anywhere between easy to medium level. Okay, so you don't have to do a lot of it. So this is the overall pattern. Part A, Part B. Part A has these 3 topics: numerical ability, logical reasoning, verbal ability. And Part B has advanced quantitative and reasoning ability, 15 questions in 20 minutes. And finally, advanced coding, where you have 45 minutes given for each question. So this is the overall timing, that is 190 minutes overall. Okay, this is going to be for 75 minutes, and this is for 1 hour 55 minutes. And finally, the 65 plus 17 questions asked. Okay, let's move to the next slide. TCS NQT 2025 cutoff. Let's try to understand the cutoff. Okay, like we've discussed, these are the topics that were asked. These are from part A and these are from part B. Okay, so if you look at this topic, right, out of 20 questions, you should be able to solve at least 8 questions. Logical reasoning, out of, again, 20 questions, this is out of 20 questions. Out of 20 questions, you should be able to solve 8 questions. Out of 20 questions, you should be able to solve 12 questions. Out of 25 questions, you should be able to solve 15 questions. And here, again, you were asked 15 questions. Out of 15 questions, you should be able to solve 7 questions. And finally, 2 advanced coding. This is pretty volatile. This is what we have noticed. The pattern that we've noticed is advanced coding. Here it is pretty volatile. So try to be fairly good at coding as well. So there have been students who have gotten both of them correct. Some test cases have failed, but it's still fine. But focus a little bit on the coding, right? And this is pretty volatile. So there haven't been any comments in specific on that. But I would tell you that out of 20, try to solve 8 questions from numerical ability. Out of 20, try to solve 12 questions from reasoning ability. Out of 25, try to solve 15 questions from verbal ability. And out of 15 questions, please try to solve half of them, which is 7 questions from advanced quantitative plus reasoning ability, and try to solve the coding questions. Okay. So if you have this anywhere between 50 to 70% is your score, then you will be able to qualify for this exam. Okay, this is the criteria. This is the cutoff. All right. So this again varies on different factors, depends on the difficulty level, depends on how many students are given the exams, depends on all of that. But this is again, the expected cutoff is on the basis of 2024, April 2024. Okay. So let's look at the next topic, role-wise cutoff. See, if you want the Ninja, only foundation section should be cleared. If you want digital, then you have to clear foundation, advanced aptitude, plus at least 1 coding question. Okay. So this is what we were talking about here. Volatility is also deciding your role. It is deciding your role in this section. If you want the prime, then you should be able to solve both coding questions, advanced aptitude and foundation. Foundation only clear as in the basic part A and B, specifically A, and it should be covered in decent level. Only foundations are clear, then you'll probably be eligible for the Ninja role. But if you have cleared that with the advanced aptitude and 1 coding question, then you will clear for the digital role. But if you have solved both coding questions along with this, then you will qualify for the prime role, which offers you 9 LPA. Okay, so this is what it is, and this is 3.3 specifically for UG graduates. Okay. Now let's understand how to prepare. How to prepare. Now that we know what the exam pattern is, what questions are asked, how many questions are asked in each section, and how many minutes are given to each section, we have figured out all of these. But now let's try to understand how to first prepare. Okay, TCS NQT is here. So first you have to be covering the foundation section, which is what we call part A. Okay, part A, this is our part B. Okay, you should be able to, under the foundation section, we have numerical ability, we have verbal ability, we have logical ability. So you should be able to solve at least half of the total questions from these. Okay, this is our foundation to crack for the rules. This is the expected cutoff. Okay, so you should be good at numerical ability, you should be good at verbal ability, you should be good at logical ability. Please check out our videos. We have multiple videos on each of these if you want to prepare for TCS test, TCS NQT. So advanced section has advanced quantitative plus logical reasoning, and it has advanced coding. 2 questions, and here they have 15 questions. This has 25, 20, and 20 questions asked. Okay. So TCS NQT, like we've seen, it is divided into 2 parts, and part A consists of numerical ability, verbal ability, and logical ability, while the advanced section consists of the advanced quantitative plus logical reasoning with advanced coding. Okay, this is how this is the flow chart that we have seen for TCS NQT. Flow chart. This is our flow chart. Okay. Now let's move and understand what a preparation strategy is going to be. So to understand the preparation strategy, number 1 is understand the exam pattern, right? First, understand the structure of the test that is asked. How many sections are there? Like we've discussed here, right? There are 2 sections. There's part A and there's part B. Understand how many sections are there. Understand what topic is asked under each section. We have numerical ability, verbal ability, logical ability in part A, advanced and quantitative logical reasoning with advanced coding in part B. So try to understand the exam pattern. That's what we have tried doing in this video. We have tried to break down the structure first so you understand how many sections are asked, what is asked in each section, how many questions are asked, how much time do you have. All of this is your first step, which we have covered already in the video. If you watch the video carefully, you will be able to know that we have tried understanding the exam pattern. Step number 2, identify and list the topics. We have talked about the topics as well, right? So understand what topics are covered under each section. I've thoroughly walked you through all the sections asked, right? So each section will have some topics included. For example, here, percentage, ratios, average, probability, reading comprehension, vocabulary, grammar, blood relations, analogies, basic algorithms, and data structures. So all of these are some of the topics that you have to cover under different sections. So if you know what the syllabus is, if you know what topics to cover, it will be easier for you to cover. Third step is to create a timetable. Now let's understand this. You are in college, you have to attend your college, you have to work on your projects, you have to work on your internship. There's so many things that you're working on, right? Even if you don't have an internship, there's so many other things that you have to manage all together, right? That's why it's very important to have a timetable. Try to understand what your weak topics are and what your strong topics are. Try to give more time to your weak topics when compared to your strong topics. And thoroughly dedicate some time every single day so you can master whatever topics are asked in a way that at least you will be able to clear the role that you are desiring. Okay. So next step is to give more time to important topics. Okay. So strategy A and strategy B. Okay. So if you're somebody who wants to excel, then give more time to the topics that you're weaker at. But at the same time, if you want to study smartly, what you can do is list down the important topics according to the weightage of the topics. Say there are topics which will have more questions asked, then cover those topics first. Because if they have more weightage, then you will be able to answer more questions, right? So which means your score is also going to improve. So that's why give more importance to those topics. Practice at least 5 daily coding problems daily. See, they don't have to be very, you don't have to start from the medium or the hard difficulty level. Start with easy level so you can at least get the momentum, right? You can get going, right? So that's why at least try to solve 5 easy, get started with the easy questions. Practice 5 coding problems every single day, and slowly your coding skills, your problem solving ability will improve. right? So once you get into a mode where you know you're comfortable solving the easy problems, then slowly move towards the medium difficulty level and then the hard difficulty level. So if this again, it's very, very subjective. You can pick up 3 questions if you don't have a lot of time. You can pick up 5 questions if you have a lot of time. And if you really enjoy coding, you can pick up to n number of questions. It really depends on how much bandwidth you have and how, you know, how interesting you think this topic is, how much improvement you need, right? Because specifically the coding questions are going to decide your role and your package. That's why I would really recommend you to give quite some time to your coding problems. This is a very, very major step, okay? Mock test. The more number of mock tests you give, the easier and the more confident you will be during the test, right? Because say you have given 5 mock tests before the test. Now you know what the pattern is. You're familiar with the pattern. You're familiar with the, you know, kind of questions that you have solved, and you have tried solving that in the given timeline, right? That will make you more confident. So it's very important to give mock tests regardless of which test you're going for. We're not specifically talking about the TCS NQT here. Any test for that matter that you're giving, more number of mock tests that you give, more practice you have, easier it is going to be for you. Finally, solve PYQs, previous year question papers. When you solve PYQs, a lot of time what happens is the same question, but only the value is going to change. The same format is going to be asked. The same difficulty level is going to be asked. You know, you will at least understand what kind of questions are asked, you know, what pattern of the questions is. So that way it is going to be easier for you. So always solve PYQs, mock test PYQs, regardless of which question paper you're solving, it is always very important. Okay, let's move ahead and try to understand the exam rules that we have. Okay, select the questions. At the start of each section, take 2 minutes to quickly assess the difficulty level. So thoroughly, don't like spend a lot of time to go through the paper. Just see, like, you know, what kind of questions are asked. What is the difficulty of the, you know, the questions that is asked. So get done with the easier ones, so you have more problems solved. Then move on to more complex questions. Okay, so easier questions, if you solve in the first, if you're able to solve a lot of them, at least you will have this thing psychologically that, okay, I have solved, say, 40 questions already in this much time. But I know they were easy, but the fact that they held some weightage and I finished them, it will make you feel more confident. Okay. It will also help you manage your time effectively and maximize your score because you've solved majority number of questions in the first half because you thought those were easier, right? So this is our first step. Second step is no section switching. Don't remember this one thing, okay? You cannot switch your sections between. You cannot switch between the sections. This is the rule that the TCS NQT exam has. You cannot switch your sections. That's why, remember, no section switching is allowed. You will need to complete the complete numerical ability section first. 25 minutes is going to be, this is going to be restricted. In 25 minutes, you have to finish this. Then you have to go to verbal section. And verbal section is for 20 minutes. You have to finish it. Then you are going to go for logical reasoning. And that has again 25 minutes. So you have to strictly adhere to the section and the restricted timeline as well. The same thing applies to the advanced sections also. You can finish a section and you cannot even revisit it, okay? But if you are in that section, you can move between the questions freely. So that's why whatever section that you are in, try to finish all the questions. You can move between the questions. So get done with the easier questions first within a section. But the section is restricted, the timeline is restricted. So keep that in mind, okay? Next, third one, we have no negative marking. So this is a plus point for all of you, that there are no penalties, no, you know, negative marking for any question. So you can attempt all of them. Even if you haven't seen the question, even if you don't know the answer, even if you're confused between the answer, just mark some answer because there is no negative marking whatsoever, right? So try to accurately, like, you know, meet the cutoff. But if you're running out of time, then what you can do is just randomly mark. At least 1 or 2 of them will definitely go right. Instead of leaving them blank, just try to grab those bonus points. Okay. So that's why you won't lose any points if you are marking like a wrong answer, right? So take your chance. If you don't have time at all, not even to like, you know, go through the questions, then just randomly mark anything, but you have the time to go through the questions. If you have like say 5-10 minutes left, then just use your intuition and then randomly mark the answers. I would recommend. So this is, we've covered this. Unlimited rough paper. So this is again a plus point. You will be provided with any number of rough sheets. You don't have to worry about the rough sheets. You don't have to even hesitate asking for it. Don't feel reluctant. Please feel free to ask how many ever rough papers you would need. Okay. So next is This one is going to be our fourth rule. And finally, we have our fifth rule where we're talking about noting down the rules. So each type of aptitude questions has specific solving techniques or formulas. Like, Pratiksa keeps teaching a lot of these, right? On the YouTube channel, he keeps giving you the techniques. So you're able to solve the aptitude questions in less than like 30 seconds, right? So know the techniques. It is going to be way easier for you than sitting and solving a huge ass question. That is not going to work, right? So that's why know the solving techniques. You will be able to solve it in 20 to 30 seconds each questions, and you will be able to save a lot of time, especially on aptitude. Since you will receive a rough sheet at least 5 minutes, you will receive your rough sheet at least 5 minutes before your exam. Okay, so that's why note down all the important rules and formulas so you can remember them, right? And if you have to take any reference from those, it will really help you. Okay, so sixth rule, we have on-screen calculator is available. You don't have to carry your own calculator. You don't have to sit down and calculate anything on your rough sheets, because there is an on-screen calculator provided to you. Okay, if you have like very simple calculations, then you can do it mentally or on rough paper. But because there's a calculator already given to you, please make use out of it so you are saving your time. Here, it is more about how you're managing solving so many questions in a given timeline, right? So that's why I would really, really recommend you to make use of everything that you have. You have no negative marking, please make use of it. Answer all the questions. You are given a number of rough papers. Please try to take any number of them. Don't hesitate. You are given an on-screen calculator. Please make use of it. Try to save your time. Okay. So whatever plus points that you have, please note them down, and please try to make complete use of everything you're given. Okay. No question-wise timer. So you don't have any timer restricted to one question, like we have talked already, right? Each section is going to be restricted to timeline. Say your verbal ability has 25 minutes, then it isn't like 1 minute specifically is given to one question. No, if you can take 30 seconds for one question and 1 minute for another, it's completely flexible, and you can take how much ever time you want for one question. But because you have to answer 20 questions in 25 minutes, please try to not spend more than 2 minutes on one question, because you will already exhaust your timeline, right? So that's why don't spend too much on each question. If you're not getting it, randomly mark something, because you probably won't even have the time to come back and visit it again, because it's restricted for 25 minutes. Once 25 minutes are over, everything is over. Now you can't go back to the section, right? So that's why don't try to spend more than like 2 minutes on each questions. If it takes a long time, move on to the next one, randomly mark something, or just or just go with your intuition. That's all I would recommend. Okay, see, you don't have to solve every single question from every single section, right? Because if you see the cutoff, you should be able to solve anywhere between 50 to 70%. What happens a lot of times is students are very motivated, especially during the beginning, right? So during the first few sections, you think you have to solve everything, and eventually when you get where you have to get, you will feel demotivated because you have spent so much time on the questions and you haven't completed all of them. So keep this in mind. Please do not spend a lot of time on each question. Do not give more than 2 to 3 minutes to each question. Move on to the next. Know that this is a time restricted exam. Please don't spend a lot of time. Eighth one, section wise timer. Okay, so each section will have its own limits. We have discussed anywhere between 20 to 25 minutes. Only the coding question will have 90 minutes, and you have to solve 2 questions in it. We have discussed that. So once the time for a section runs out, you will be moved to the next section. One section after the other, verbal ability, and then you will go to reasoning, then you will go to the next section. So after your the restricted timeline is over, the section is over, you will move to the next section. So keep that in mind. Please always remember the rules. You can use the calculator, you can use a number of rough sheets, you can always like we've discussed, there's no negative marking. Please please answer all the questions. Remember, there's no section switching. You cannot switch between the sections, it's restricted. Please try to finish it. Don't give a lot of time to each question. Don't give more than 2 to 3 minutes to each question. If you're not able to solve, then it's fine. You don't have to solve every single question, right? Anywhere between 50 to 70% will do this job. So please move on to the next question. Don't give more than 2 to 3 minutes. All right, so these were some important ones. Let's move to the next one. So this is the rule number 9, TITA based questions. So this exam includes totally 8 TITA questions. TITA is type in the answer. You have to literally type the answer in. Okay, so 8 TITA based questions are asked where no options are provided. You should fill the blank in. Okay, so practice them as much as possible before the exam. So only a blank is going to be given. You have to fill this by your own self. No options are going to be given. So 8 questions are going to be asked. So that's why practice them as well. 10th rule is sequential coding questions. You can only move to the second coding question after submitting the first one. So like we've discussed, right, you have to solve 2 questions in 90 minutes, right? Question number 1 and question number 2. After you have finished this first question only, you will be able to move to the second question. Okay. And once you have submitted this one, you cannot return, you cannot modify, you cannot do anything to the first code. If once you click on the submit button, it's over. Now you don't even have the access to the coding question. So remember that 90 minutes is given. 90 minutes is how much? 45 minutes for each question. Try to spend that much time. If it's easier, if you're able to solve it before that, well and good. If you're not, don't exceed the time limit, because first question usually is easier than the second question, right? So that's why don't try to spend too much time on it. If you're able to solve, well and good. But remember, if once you hit the submit button, you cannot go back, cannot make any changes, cannot revisit. All right. So finally, our very important tip, regardless of which exam it is, mock tests. Try to give as many mock tests as possible. It will help you understand the exam pattern and the structure. It will reduce your anxiety. It will make you more confident also, right? Because if you know the exam pattern, if you know what kind of questions are asked, if you're able to solve it in the timeline, then you will automatically become more confident, right? So they allow you to practice time management like we discussed. It will help you identify your strengths, your weakness, and it will also develop a targeted study approach. You will know which topic you have weakness in, which topic is your strong topic, and you will be able to give more time to this, right? More time. Ultimately, taking mock tests builds confidence, like we talked about, enhances your ability to perform under pressure, and make them an essential part. So that's why try to give as many mock tests as possible. It will make you confident. It will help you manage your time. It will make you it will boost your enthusiasm on the day of the test. Try to give as many mock tests as possible. Okay. Finally, let's move to the things to avoid. This is going to be our last section, but it's a very, very important section. Not solving PYQs. Please solve previous year questions, because a lot of times the format of the questions is not changed. So say something was asked the last year, the similar kind of questions this time, only the values have been changed and it is asked to you, then it is going to be easier for you to solve TCS, right? The test. This way you will be able to score a lot of marks. Not just this, for that matter, if you're giving NEET, if you're giving RAE, if you've noticed, right, we've always solved PYQs if you're giving boards or anything, because a lot of times similar formatted questions are asked, only the values are changed. In these cases, it's going to act like a savior. Please solve PYQs. Don't forget to please solve PYQs. It's a very, very essential part of your preparation. Okay. Skipping mock tests. This is something that you should never do. Okay. Always skip. Do not skip giving your mock test. More number of mock tests is proportional to your confidence, right? Your time management, right? This will help you boost your confidence, boost your time management skills. Don't overthink the questions. A lot of times what happens is, see, you have to not spend more than 2 to 3 minutes. When you start overthinking, a lot of questions are very basic. You have to think basic, right? But when you start spending too much time thinking about different approaches, you are spending more time on that. And this is something that you should never do. Do not overthink. Simple and basic thought process. Keep it to that, okay? Neglecting preparation for coding. A lot of students I have personally seen, they give too much time to coding, right? They keep coding, they love coding, they think they're going to be software engineers, and 24/7 they're going to be keep coding. That's not how it works. Each section has weightage. Each section has to be covered in order for you to, to be able to crack the rule, right? So don't neglect your preparation only for coding, okay? Ignoring exam instructions. The instructions given, we have already discussed a lot of instructions. Please keep them in mind before your test. Please don't forget them. Relying solely on the calculator. A lot of students, what they do is just relying on the calculator. However, make use of the calculator as much as you can, but don't solely rely on the calculator, because there are going to be things that you cannot rely on, okay? Not managing time wisely. This is something a lot of students do as well. Always remember, you can give 1 to 2 minutes each question. This is the max time that you can give. If you're not able to solve, move on. It's fine. Randomly mark something, or if you're not able to randomly mark, go with your intuition. and mark something, whatever you think is right. Okay, leaving question blanks, please. There is no negative marking like we had discussed. No negative marking. So please always answer all the questions. Okay. Underestimating the importance of the verbal section. Verbal section is also very important. Every section for that matter is very, very important because each section holds some weightage, right? And you will have to clear every section with some percentage in order to crack the test. That's why please don't underestimate any section. Please give enough time to each of them. Understand what your weaknesses, understand what your strengths are. Try to spend more time with your weakness and also prepare smartly. Try to give the topics which have more weightage, more time, so you're able to solve a lot of questions. Okay, being underconfident or anxious. See, don't be underconfident. If you know that you're able to solve, you know you will clear the test, well and good. Keep calm, right? But at the same time, if you're very scared, this is not the end of the world. It's not this, there's going to be something else, right? So don't be so anxious, don't be so underconfident either. Something or the other definitely is going to work out. Okay, so don't feel this is not going to be the end of the world. What is going to happen if you don't clear this exam? You will probably clear another exam after learning the lessons from this one exam, right? So always keep in mind that this is not the end of the world. Don't feel anxious, don't feel underconfident. Just keep your calm no matter what it is. Okay, no proper sleep is also one of the major thing that I've noticed in students. They tell that how they couldn't get enough sleep before the test because they were thinking about how the test is going to go, and that's why they couldn't sleep, and that impacted the exam. You wouldn't want to be one of them, right? So get enough sleep. Okay, get enough sleep. Plus, along with this, what I would recommend is eat light breakfast. Okay, something really light. Don't eat something too heavy and then you are going to feel very like you're feeling nauseous during the test, you're not feeling well. All of that should be avoided because this is your test day. So try to eat something light, get proper sleep, don't think about the test that day. Last minute preparation should be avoided. Try to focus on what you can do now, right? Keep your calm, everything's going to work out. Be confident and just give your test. So all the best to anyone who's watching this video, and I really hope that this video is very helpful because we have tried to cover everything from start to the end. We have tried to cover the structure, the weightage, the topics asked, what the strategy is going to be, what the rules of the test are, what things to avoid, what strategy you should use, how to prepare. Everything I've tried to cover in this one video, and I hope this video is going to be really helpful for anyone who's watching it. And also the fact that if you really want to go through something, there is an article given from Online Study for You in the description box. Please check it out. And thank you so much.